Round of 8, boys. Group C finished. We're gonna discuss what happened. Spoilers. Look away if you don't want spoilers. But here it is. I predicted Group 1. We're quickly gonna go through the groups, what happened, and then we're gonna move on to the round of Zerg. So I predicted Dark first, and I said Special second. I was expecting Special to beat Su in the first round, and then I predicted whoever wins there is gonna lose to Dark, which is kind of what happened. And I also predicted that if Special ends up playing against Showtime, I think Showtime will win, which would happen. And then at the end, I expected Su to go fourth, or third or fourth, but Su came through, managed to beat Special, and go into second place. So there it is, 2 Zergs. Group B, I mentioned this quite a bit. I said that anyone can advance here from the 3 players, Maro, Cyril, and Stats. And we had Cyril and Maro advance. Now, I said I would be super impressed if Time wins against Maro or anyone else, and he did. He played really, really well. I would probably say that Time right now is probably the best 4 in Terran. Special played very, very sloppy, which is kind of sad to see because I know he didn't play his best, but Time played really well. Yeah, props to him. Sucks that he was in this group because I do feel like if he was in any other group, he would have had probably way better chances of advancing. And the StarCraft II curse happened. He beat Maro first, best of 5, 3-2, and then lost in a decider 1-3-0. Yikes. Other than that, Cyril kind of stomped through the group. Just Cyril things. Group C. I called for Classic and Raynor to advance. I think I said it can go like both ways, but what I didn't think is Hero Marine beating Classic. So the first 2 games and then the rematch kind of went how I thought it would. Like Classic just played really solid and just kind of beat up Hero Marine. But in the first series, he managed to do a 3-2 reverse comeback and win that one out. Hero and Raynor, I wasn't sure regarding Hero what kind of form he's going to be in. Is he going to be in like really good Hero form, or he's just going to be like, potatoing? I think he played pretty well. He ended up losing to Raynor 3-2. After that, he dropped out to Classic in PvP, even though he beat Classic recently in one of the tournaments. Raynor 3-0 in Hero Marine, and then again, Decider, Classic beating Hero Marine in the Decider. Once again, see? Win the first one, lose the second one. It always happens. And then Group D, we had the potential of 2 Zergs advancing, but Elaser coming short in that last best of 5. Trap beating Elaser. So these are the games that I actually have not watched right here. Most of the other ones I did watch, especially the first 2 groups. I watched every single best of 5. And then Elaser knocking out Neeb and barely not making it through. We almost had 6 Zergs in round of 8, but only 5, boys. Don't be sad. We're going to have a bunch of ZVZ, and I'm sure everyone's going to be super excited, just as I am, to watch some more Roaches and Lings being made, because we haven't seen that enough in the past 2 years. Now, round of 8. I gotta say, me as a viewer, I'm extremely disappointed in the round of 8 because, yikes. Listen, I want you to sit back in your chairs or on your couches, on your beds, and realize there is a very good chance for 4 Zergs in semifinals. These are the moments where I wish we could just rig the brackets and put all Zergs on one side of the bracket in the first round so they knock each other out. So maybe we get a chance for another matchup. Let's get started. Cyril, Su. Now, Su played way better than I thought. He did bring Dark to game number 5 as well in their match. But, he didn't seem like, like I'm going to destroy everyone kind of player. He played pretty well, and obviously Su is an insane Zerg player. But on the other hand, you have Cyril, who looked extremely dominant. Cyril's favorite matchup that he said is ZVZ. I mean, when they drew the who's gonna play who, and when Su saw that he's playing Cyril, he just did like his face reaction kind of said it all. And he doesn't want to play against Su, and I'm pretty sure Cyril is very happy with this bracket for him. I can see Su winning a game, maybe even 2 games somehow. I don't think so. I think Cyril's pretty confident against Su at this point. I'm going to say 3-1 Cyril, and Cyril advances to the semifinals. Kind of feels bad for Su that he drew Cyril, but hey, it is what it is. Someone had to. Raynor Trap. Now, this is a pretty interesting one. We saw Rogue dominate in GSL in ZVP quite hard. I mentioned that Trap is going to have a really hard time beating Rogue because he lost 4-0 to Rogue in a GSL finals. But he did take a game off of Rogue in this one, and he barely beat Elaser. And then in the first best of 5, he beat Elaser 3-1. So, you know, I'm not going to say Trap's PvZ is terrible. Again, I haven't seen these games, so I'm not going to, you know, analyze it too much. But I think that Raynor feels very, very confident against Protoss. He did beat Hero 3-2, and Hero is the kind of player that's like really aggressive. I think that the longer the game goes, and if Raynor stabilizes against Trap and doesn't die to like all-ins or something like that, I think it's gonna be just fine. I mean, all 4 Zergs have graduated from the camping infestor Broodlord school. You know, they know how to make him, they know how to put hold position on Broodlords and click fungals and neurals. So if Trap doesn't get some kind of early advantage, I think he's going to struggle quite a bit. I would love to see Trap advance just so that we don't have to watch ZVZs, but I do think that Raynor will be advancing. Another thing that Raynor has going for him, other than, you know, Zerg, is he's obviously very good, he's very fast, but he's only played one best of 5 against Hero. And from Zerg point of view in that matchup, you're not really revealing too much, if that makes sense, because Zerg doesn't really have build orders. You're more like reactive kind of style, right? I mean, yeah, you can do build orders, but it's more reactive. Build orders only come in handy if you're doing like an all-in. But on the other side, Trap has played 4, 8, 13 games of PvZ. For a Protoss in that matchup where you have to execute builds or do certain play styles, certain all-ins, that's so much information for Raynor to see. I mean, it's 13 games that are super duper fresh. There's only a couple of days till, you know, playoffs. And yes, you know, Trap might prepare a build or two, but he's not going to be able to change his whole play style in a couple of days. So yeah, I have to give this one to Raynor. I do think it's going to be close, maybe even a 3-2, but I don't see it being 3-0 for either player, but I think 3-2, 3-1 Raynor will advance. Now, Rogue Classic, I mean, Classic lost to Raynor, and I think right now in the current form, I would say that Rogue is probably better. Maybe not in ZVZ, but I would say against the, like just overall as a player, I would say that Rogue is better. Again, you know, coming off of that hot GSL win. And if Classic, you know, he didn't play against Zerg, he didn't play against Raynor, but he lost against Hero Marine, and, you know, the point I'm trying to make is I do think that Rogue has very good PvZ, ZVP, whichever way you want to go. He has been winning a lot of ZVPs and best of 5s and best of 7s, and I do think he's going to advance. Sadly, another Rogue. Now, Classics, I talked about this last time when I did the predictions. This is Classics' last tournament before going to military, so I'm sure he practiced a lot, you know, because he also had Raynor in his group. And the one thing that Classic has going for him is he did not reveal his ZVP builds. You know, he obviously prepared for Raynor because he had him in the group, but they didn't play. So that's the one thing that's going for Classic. You know, he might be having completely new playstyle that Rogue hasn't seen. Meanwhile, Rogue has played 2 best of 5s in ZVP, so he probably gave out, you know, obviously more info than Classic did. I'm gonna say 3-2 either player in this one, but I do think I'm leaning like 60-40 towards Rogue, and we'll see what happens. And then Dark Maru. Now, we've seen Dark play in Group A. He didn't play against Special, but for a very, very long time, a lot of the people that are in Korea are saying that Dark does not lose to Terrence, that his ZVT is the best matchup by far, and that nobody can beat him in ZVT. Jeez, I keep saying ZVP. Maru is obviously the last Terran, probably the best Terran right now we have in the game. And when the opponents were drawn, again, Maru didn't look too happy. He was kind of laughing and, you know, giggling. And Dark just kind of had a stone cold face, like, I don't care. So yeah, Dark just kind of beats up Terrans pretty bad. At the end of the day, if, you know, it's one of those, if there's any Terran that can beat Dark, it's probably Maru. I personally think this is probably going to be the most exciting series, and series people look forward to most, because you have the best Korean Zerg versus maybe second best Korean Zerg after Rogue, I'm not sure, versus the best Korean and Terran in the world. I really hope that Maru wins. I really hope, but I think there's a very good chance that we're gonna see 4 Zergs in semifinals. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that, Serral wins, and I hope that Trap, Classic, and Maru advance. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I don't want to do balance whining here, but in the current state of the game, Zerg is just favored. Rogue has also said in the interview, that he said it in the GSL interview, he said in the WCS interview that Rogue's broken and he's winning because Zerg is too strong. So I completely forgot about that. I just remember that he said that. So he's probably feeling pretty confident in ZVP considering he's beating all the Protoses. So yeah, well, Rogue is broken too. So very realistic chance of 4 Zergs in semifinals, which honestly is my prediction. If there's a non-Zerg to win here, I think it's Trap. I think Classic probably has the lowest chance to advance out of the non-Zergs, and then maybe Maru, and then Trap. Assuming the 4 Zergs do advance, it's going to be Serral, Raynor, and Rogue, Dark. I gotta say that Serral and Raynor have had quite a bit of back and forth this year. Serral wins, Raynor wins, Serral wins. But I think that the way, and again, I don't want to take anything away from Raynor. I think he's extremely good, extremely talented. But I feel that every time Serral won, it was kind of straight up games. But every time Raynor won the series, it was a little bit of cheeky play, like +1 Ling Flood, Mutaling Bane, a Ling Lurker that we've seen as well. And I think the more they play, Raynor is kind of running out of tricks. And it's also his first BlizzCon. It's a huge tournament. It's going to be on the stage. And this is all assuming he advances through Trap, which he might get nervous at BlizzCon stage and lose against Trap. But if he does advance, I think Serral kind of has everything going for him. And again, Serral's favorite matchup is ZVZ, so I do think Serral's going to win. This can go 2 ways. I can see this going 3-2 either player, but I can also see this going 3-0 for Serral, because of all the things I just mentioned. Just kind of snowball and Raynor just falls apart mentally. He definitely has the skill to beat Serral, but yeah. So I think Serral's going to be going through the finals. And then on the other side of the bracket, I'm actually going to say that Rogue is going to advance. And I'm pretty confident in this, like maybe 70-30. Dark has played against Sue, and yes, he did beat Sue, but it was a 3-2, and then he beat Showtime 3-2. Don't get me wrong, Showtime played really well. Like, super well. But Rogue is looking more confident, in my opinion, even though he had a 3-2 as well. I do think that Rogue is going to advance there. It's one of those, it's a ZVZ, and these all Zergs are like world-class players. So I can also see a Dark winning. But I think it's going to be really close. Like, I think 3-2 for either player, but I'm going to lean towards Rogue. And then finals will be what everyone's been waiting for, a Zerg versus Zerg. And I'm going to just go with my boy Serral. I think no matter who Serral faces, it's going to be a 4-2. He's going to be super warmed up from all the ZVZs he's going to be playing. And the thing about Serral ZVZ is he doesn't do anything cheeky. He doesn't have a style. He just plays the game. He just plays macro ZVZ. He scouts, he reads, and there's nothing you can do to really counter him. So I do think Serral's going to win BlizzCon 4-2 in the finals, and that's it. I hope that if this is the case, and if the Zerg keeps dominating, that Blizzard takes a harder look at the recent changes they've announced. I went through them. They're on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. I don't think they're enough. I think Zerg needs to be nerfed harder, and or for Blizzard to kind of buff Terran and Protoss against Zerg in some ways. But yeah, again, my brain says Zerg all the way. My heart really hopes for Protosses and Terrans, because not only I personally want to watch Protosses and Terrans in PvT, PvZ, TvZ, but also I think 4 Zergs advancing is really bad for the game, because I don't remember the last time we had this kind of imbalance of races at BlizzCon. I think the possibility of 4 Zergs is really bad for StarCraft II. just for the viewership, because every time in the tournaments where we see, you know, ZVT, let's say the tournament has like 30,000 viewers, next series is ZVZ, it drops down to like 22k, 24k. Nobody wants to watch it. And I think everyone's kind of tired of ZVZ, so that's it. I would love to hear your guys' opinion, whether your whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube. But that's it. Those are my BlizzCon predictions. Again, I am going to BlizzCon. I'll be watching this live. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video.